Hello, I'm James, and I'm an old guy in Europe. Hello, and welcome to another episode of An Old Guy in Europe. Again, on the Good Morning Portugal Show with Carl Munson. He and I discuss my confusion about which language I should use, travel marketing hype, reliability of weather forecasts, and the meaning of the Portuguese flag. So, as always, I invite you to please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Whoa! All right!
Woo! Unmute. Bom dia.
Bom dia, tudo bem?
Take two. Muito bem, obrigado. Contigo.
Muito cansado, senhor.
Sempre.
Although sometimes worse than others, James. There's not enough weekend. There's not enough weekend for my liking. Late to bed, late to sleep, and early to rise this morning. But I'm not complaining. I need to drink a bit of water so my sandpapery eyeballs can hydrate a little bit. This might help as well. I forgot the well-being news this morning.
The well-being being.
Do you take omega-3s at all, James?
Not specifically omega-3s. I take a multivitamin.
Okay, but you know of the idea, don't you, of lubricating yourself with fish oils, as it were?
Yes. Well, there's supposed to be all kinds of benefits to it. So,
of course. Did you know there was a uniquely Portuguese way to do that?
No, I did not.
Guess what? How do the Portuguese take fish oils? It's one of the 1,000 recipes. I've not done the reveal yet.
Oh, in their bacalhau.
Yes. Look,
claro.
You're not going to see that anywhere else, are you? On the planet, maybe in Brazil or where other Portuguese people live. But bacalhau omega-3 oils. How about that? If you want to be patriotic,
it's salmon or something. But yes,
or cod. I mean, it probably is cod oil.
Yeah, it is a cod.
Yeah. But this is
specifically is cod.
Yeah, bacalhau omega-3s. And
specifically codfish.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Well, bacalhau, every time a Portuguese refers to it in English, it's codfish. So there's always fish after cod when they talk about bacalhau.
Yes. Okay, very good. Yes, nice point of order, Chairman, there. Yes, absolutely. I have noticed that as well. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, you are on a Monday our one-man well-being ambassador, specifically and particularly of the mind, but I'm sure you don't mind going into other areas of well-being. It's all connected, isn't it?
Every time you're saying being, I'm going back to bean.
Did you like the bean story? Do you feel
how you been, old bean?
How are you, old bean? Pete's picked up on that as well. It's very British, isn't it? Jolly hockey sticks, old bean. We do speak like that in the UK. I miss that. I miss walking down the street and shouting out jolly hockey sticks, old bean to passers-by. But, maybe I can bring that into being in my local neighborhood.
It's all about the mix of languages, which is, I've been sort of engaged in thinking about that recently. Maybe I'll have a little time to talk about. Just to see if other people go through it. Mostly as a setup. It's when I'm talking about things in Portugal to English-speaking people, which language do I use? It's like
when you're talking about English things, which language?
No, when I'm talking about Portuguese things to English-speaking people, specifically Americans, which language do I use? And then that gets complicated by the fact that now British English is now infiltrated into my American English, which is now part of my Portuguese, which is all part of trying to describe Portugal to someone in English.
Yes.
And sometimes I get baffled and confused speaking my own language. Just, you know, it's like, well, last weekend I went to Lisboa, and they go, "Where's that?" And I go, Lisbon. Oh, so it's in the Middle East. No, that's Lebanon. All that kind of stuff. That's like, it has happened in the past. Yes.
Seriously.
Yes. People think Lisbon is Lebanon. And anyway, lots of confusion. So I find myself when I'm about to make a reference to pants, which is how I say it, that I want to go to trousers because pants is like, underpants in British English. And I don't want to mean underpants. I want to mean trousers. So, you know, and then whenever I'm speaking English like this, and then I make a reference to Portuguese city, I use a Portuguese word for it, or using a Portuguese pronunciation. So I'm going to Ericeira, not Ericeira. I'm going to Porto, not Porto. I'm going to Lisboa, not Lisbon or Lisbon. You know, so there's just, and it really came up for me when I was preparing an episode for an old guy in Europe on my few visits to Lisboa. And then I'm like, well, should I say Lisboa? Should I say Lisbon? And then there's, you know, Parque Natural, or just natural park, or, you know, what do I, how, so there's just this kind of morass to work through, and mostly I just need to be clear and make a decision about how I'm going to do it. But
I love it. It's its own comedy sketch, isn't it? It really is. It is, and it's nothing.
I had not anticipated this at all, and I think most Americans don't, because we're not used to all these varieties of languages just all mixing together in our location.
Yeah.
Typically, we speak English everywhere. We talk about things in English. We don't call San Francisco San Francisco or San Francisco. Or see, now I'm mixing Spanish and Portuguese. It's like, but we don't do that. We just say San Francisco, San Diego, you know, taco, whatever is Spanish. We just say as in American English, and we don't have. I mean, we have regional accents, but not language accents. So I think for me anyway, it's I wasn't anticipating it. I wasn't used to it. And I came here and I was just like, do. And then these things start coming up. I'm talking to Americans about places I'm going, and I'm using Portuguese pronunciations, and they're getting a little confused and going, why is he talking different right now? You know?
Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
I think we need to strike a balance, don't we, as well? Because it can sound a bit pretentious as well, can't it? You know, like you might be trying a bit too hard, but then not to try at all seems lazy, doesn't it?
Well, and then again, when you've got a public audience that's subject to comments, you get Portuguese people saying you should use the Portuguese pronunciation to show respect for the country. It's like, okay, that's reasonable. And then you get Americans saying, why are you talking that way? You know, you don't speak Portuguese. You know, it's like, why are you pretending to know Portuguese or whatever? It's just like, So mostly it's really getting grounded and just taking my position and making my choice and doing it the way that I want to do it. But in the meantime, getting to that decision has been quite a little process for me, and humorous, I find, you know. So
goodness sake.
Yeah. So I was going to talk about that, but I just did, so I don't need to go into any more.
That means I can lure you towards Blue Monday again.
Yes.
Like last week.
Not that.
Yeah, not that again.
Carl, you're making me sad. I think I'm going to be really sad next Monday now.
No, you don't need to be. I've reframed it, James. Look, okay, let's start at the beginning. So as we discovered last year, and if it's a quiet news day, I don't think it's not going to be a quiet news day on Monday, January the 20th. Let's face it, for all sorts of reasons. However, should anyone be feeling a little blue, which is what the prediction is on, I think it tends to be the third Monday of the new year, we're going to rebrand it as red and green.
Well,
Monday.
January 20th couldn't be the third day of any week because the calendar changes. So it's either the third Monday of January or it's the 20th of January. So
it is the third Monday.
That
it has to be a Monday. It has to be a Monday.
Yes. If it's going to be a Blue Monday, that would make sense.
Although, just to freshen things up, maybe they'll have Blue Monday on a Tuesday because it's
what if you're looking at the sky like I am now? It's beautiful and clear and blue, and it's actually cheery and fun and nice. And
we can't have that. It
fills me with joy. That would be joyful blue.
No, you're not allowed that on Blue Monday.
No blue joy.
No. Sorry, that's not allowed.
Okay.
Which else? I'm struggling here. I really am. I can't get news, weather, culture, language, and well-being, James, into 20 minutes. It's all spilled over this morning. We haven't done the weather yet, and you've reminded me. So may we do that now, and we'll come back.
Well, it's language. Language is culture. It's all together. There is no one part of it. It's all part of the same thing. We're experiencing this beautiful mix of.
Yeah, but I can't fit it all in 20 minutes.
Well, that's like saying I want to put my whole life into 20 minutes. Like what? Or my whole week or my whole day. It's like, that's a lot for 20 minutes. So just take the highlights. Ooh, the 20-minute highlights.
I'm looking ahead and I'm seeing that sunshine is on the way. The 300 days of sunshine has been very disappointing so far. In fact, the non-sunny days are outweighing the sunny days, but it is January and very close to Blue Monday, which brings us full circle.
Exactly. And both derived, I believe they're both derived from the exact same place. Hype, travel, tourism, promotion of a country, trying to stir people up. That, Blue Monday, we determine last year that was actually spawned, that's a good word for it, spawned by the travel industry, like to give us a reason to look to go somewhere where it's not blue. It's all advertising. 300 days of sunshine. The analytical mind of mine will not let it go that a simple observation from one location in Portugal isn't going to give you an accurate measure on that. You have to measure the whole country every single day, how many minutes of sunlight actually come through versus clouds, and then determine how much light constitutes a day of sunshine. And then that's not even including the mood. You can have, like I just said, you can have blue joy. So you could have a cloudy day of sunshine emotionally. So anyway, it's a nice effort to measure.
Yeah.
And ego wants to prove that it's right or wrong or prove something. And it's like, it's travel hype. It's just promote Portugal. I saw it just yesterday on some analysis of Portugal as the country of 300 days of sunshine, and going, not again. So maybe it is.
Not that again.
I would imagine it's close.
Well, you know me.
I do.
Well, James, you know me. My scientific rigor, I hope, will prove it this year. And my criteria are actually quite loose.
Out your window each morning.
If I feel my bones warming, that is a day of sunshine. It's one of those 300 days.
So what do you call it? Bone warming days. That would be easier to measure.
Which means if any advertising agencies are looking for a scientist, I am available. Right.
There you go. Carl Munson's bone warming measure.
I've got a microscope, I've got a stethoscope, I've got a white coat, I've got a pen and paper.
And you got a bone temperature measurer. Wait a minute. Yes. I'm measuring the temperature of my bone right now. Yes, the bone is exactly.
But James, it's not called a bone temperature measure. It's called an orthothermoscope. Okay.
Okay.
If you really want to use the technical
Thank you for that. I had never learned the name of that device.
People, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. I always got to dumb it down for people. Okay. Right. Bon dia, Compass. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It looks like we did, with the lovely pictures that are coming in. Mike,
but I can say,
Mike, I don't know if we can do another. Go on.
Sorry.
No, carry
on your toes again. This new format is mixing me up. I I do look at the weather forecast and the weather here in Addisada daily just to get a sense of what's supposed to happen. And I give the farther out in the future the forecast is, the less stock I give it. It's like, oh, that's probably just wrong on Friday. Well, Friday's just wrong, but they got to make a prediction.
Yeah.
But overall, it looks like there's going to be a cooling trend, to use a professional meteorological term, a cooling trend. I'm noticing the temperatures have dropped considerably in the forecast for the week, down to predicted 2 degrees on Wednesday in Addisada. I said, oh, that is bone chilling. That's almost freezing. So, yes, we'll see. See, I'm actively living in the world of we'll see. We'll see.
You are, aren't you? As you predicted, you're seeing that through this year so far on the 13th. Okay, well,
it's easy for me.
Suffice to say, then, next Monday, I will be talking to you about this again. You might a sick note might ensue.
I'm sorry, Monday. I can't be there today.
Okay. James sends his apologies. Tired and emotional. So
he's feeling blue.
Yes, red and green is what we're going to rename it. Portuguese Monday. Send in your pictures of a Portuguese Monday, if you will, especially for next week.
Right. I had a thought about the red and green on the flag.
Oh, go on.
Like if you have a positive aspect, the green will get gradually a larger and larger portion of the flag, and the red will become smaller and smaller.
Yes.
How's that for hope for the future?
That's an active flag, isn't it? A barometer, bandera.
Every year they got to make it just a fraction more green on it.
Very good.
Then it would become a green flag if there really was just hope for the future, no more blood spilled in war.
Well, maybe we need just a little bit reminder of history, a little bit of a smattering of red, just to remind us of
like the little dots on the shields in the center of the flag.
Yes, that's right. And Pete was talking about that. I'm trying to find out where he was talking about that. Here we go. The 7 castles, because I was asking the question whether they actually have names and are kind of located. They are located in the Algarve region. Okay, so they're not the other castles some of us know, like Batalha. No, that's a monastery, is it not? Of course, Leiria, for example. Having been the castles conquered from the Moors and built by the Christians in the reign of King Alfonso III. So it does date back to a particular period in time where a strong statement was required before the advent of the internet and other means of popular communication. The flag had quite a lot of work to do to show people what had gone on and what the country's aspirations were. Thank you very much.
And the pirates had a very simple way of communicating that message.
They did, didn't they? Run!
Yes. A skull and crossbones. Run! Pirates!
Or swim.
Yes, not hard to interpret that flag.
No, that's right. When flags were flags. Blimey. Only an expat would know all that stuff about the flag. I bet the locals haven't a clue. I would question that. I would question
that as well.
Yeah, yes. Particularly Portuguese people, very, very interested in their own history, very patriotic. I think you speak for yourself. What's on the Welsh flag? It's a dragon, isn't it? Not a sheep. Anyway, Portuguese flag should have a garrafão, in my opinion. That's true, to reflect the popular culture as well, and maybe I don't know, a chamoça to represent the multicultural feel of the food. Anyway, other
what would it be without a bacalhau? I mean, come on.
It's true. That should be on there as well.
Yes.
Our fin semana was a lovely walk along the foggy coast on Sábado and Domingo. A favorite drive in the mountains to Castelo.
Sábado, by the way.
Sábado. Of course it is, because the accent is on the A, James.
There you go. Well done. Muito bem. Not bad.
So, thank you, James. In the new format, you're going to be going about your day right now. But may I just share one more well-being message with you that I would like your commentary upon before we welcome Steve?
Sure.
Do you like this prescription then? The real luxuries in life. I thought this might appeal to you. Time, health, a quiet mind, a we'll see mind, slow mornings, the ability to travel, rest without guilt, a good night's sleep, chance to be a fine thing, calm and boring days, meaningful conversations, home-cooked meals, people you love, people who love you back. that gives my heart a little swell and glow. How about you?
Yes, I need my, I don't know the medical name for my heart temperature measuring device, but yes, it warms the heart.
Your cardiothermo
There it
ratio.
is.
Okay. Quotient.
But yes, to not make a joke about that, that is very settling, and I immediately go to gratitude. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much my life. Lucky me.
Good for you, mate. Good for you.
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah,
lovely?
yeah.
And good for anyone whose life looks anything
I did
like.
want to say that the reason I use Portuguese for saying cities is practice. It's very
Yes.
practical. It's
Yes,
like I'm
indeed.
trying to use every opportunity I have to speak the language the way it's supposed to be spoken.
Yep.
But everyone else takes it. I mean, that's why I have to make up my own mind. Some people say it's pretentious. Some people say, you should do it that way. Other people, you shouldn't. So I just need to do it the way I do it. And if people think I'm being pretentious,
on me, man. Yeah,
if you think I'm being pretentious, you don't know me. I'm just practicing.
There you go. There you go. And maybe a pastel de nata on the flag just to
there you go. Yeah. Traditional cultural things.
James, of course, your latest video is on an old guy in Europe on YouTube, and we'll see you again next Monday. Thank you. Have a beautiful week.
Thanks, everyone. It's always a pleasure. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. There we go.